professional wrestling.
Welcome back to Feast or Fired. This is the October 16th, 2002 edition. I'm Brian with my Melanie.
Hello.
And let's get into it. Tonight feels like a big night from the opening just because they're doing quite a few video packages that makes it feel like they're covering several storylines, like almost like tonight would be the big pay-per-view if you were doing pay-per-view. That's the video package in the open. That's just how it feels. I think as we get through the show, it really doesn't play out like that, personally. Okay. First segment, we get Goldie with Estrada.
Mm-hmm.
She asks if the Elvises are even a thing anymore. He introduces some woman named Priscilla, and then also says that he will be, tonight, starting to search for other people to replace at least Siaki, so that he's going to have some new Elvises. During this segment...
Which is why I'm laughing.
During this segment, in the background, there's just a door in the background. I don't know if it's supposed to be the locker room or something. During, like, middle part, with Estrada, we see Sean Waltman, Six-Pac, slip out, look around, and walk out of frame.
Kind of looks like it was by accident.
I initially thought maybe this was we were just doing this one take and he got into the shot. It turned out, no, this actually was intentional. Because Brian Lawler shows up, asking Goldie where April was, because apparently Goldie and Goldilocks and April are friends.
Yeah, they've never...
Well, they established it now. Goldie says she has no idea. Lawler leaves, and then as the segment comes to a close, we see April sneak out of that same room. I have it written here. I guess this establishes that Six-Pac wasn't just kidding when he said he was sleeping with April. Anything to add?
No, I just thought that. Oh.
That would be something to add. Match 1, Davey Young versus Brian Lawler. The matchup of the guy that's Brian Lawler and the guy who had his gimmick before him.
I think he's mad about it. He's seeming to show some aggression.
Yeah. Lawler is upset April was late joining him out there and scolds her when she finally does come out. We get a weird moment in the match where the match isn't great. I'll say that. Just because it's mostly just more of the same bullshit with April and Lawler being an asshole.
Yeah.
We do get a moment where Lawler gets thrown out of the ring and he falls to the floor. Then he gets up on his knees and try to make it feel like he's still tumbling and falls into April's lap. That was supposed to be the spot.
I'm just saying, the way that he reacted to this, though, makes it look like he has a bad smelling.
Well, I mean, if she was just doing things with Six-Pac, she might.
Well, yeah, but it does not make me feel like.
I will admit, I think this is really just going down to how cartoony his expressions are.
Yeah, I think so.
More than that's how he was trying to portray.
Yeah.
Getting back into the ring, he flipped over the top rope and fell on his ass and yelled at the ref for it. He is. Throughout this match, he's making it known that he has a combination of the crowd and April being huge distractions for him. Near the end of the match, he has April give him the goggles for the hip-hop drop, but he misses that. Young tries to capitalize, climbing in the corner, but he just stands there staring at April, who just gives him a small wave. Lawler hits an inverted DDT off the second rope and gets the victory.
That just seems sloppy. It looked like Oi let him.
Am I supposed to be getting the impression here that April is just flirting with everyone in the locker room?
Maybe.
Is that the idea?
Maybe.
Because we have no established reason why David Young would just stop and stare at her when she was still just sitting there. It'd be one thing if she stood up and bent over or something, something overt, but just sitting there, she barely moved the wave.
Maybe he was having flashbacks to Bob.
I don't know.
Okay,
yeah, but I don't know. In this match itself, with how things are currently, there is no good reason why he should have been distracted. When WWE does this sort of thing, where they have a woman distract someone, like one of the more infamous spots was with like Stacy Keibler, and she was like bending out of the ring, pointing her ass in, and that was a huge distraction for the people in there for the spot point where they were just stopping and staring. That makes sense. It's overt. It's very clear. If you're in the audience for this sort of thing, you're watching it and you're like, why is he just standing there? Because April isn't doing anything that's easily visible. She did a small wave from basically her lap. So in the audience, he just stopped. You know what I'm saying?
Watching it, like, even a lot more.
With the camera? Yeah.
I'm confused. I think he had a flashback when Bobcat would.
You can explain it any way you want, but it doesn't make it good.
No, it's a terrible story.
Jerry Lynn limps his way out to the ring. Says he's taking responsibility for hurting his knee last week because he got into a scuffle he didn't need to. But he does promise that he's going to hurt Siaki next week. Siaki comes out, says... Oh, no, he says Siaki's what's wrong with the business. Basically, he has earned nothing but wants everything handed to him. And next week will be a reality check for Siaki as he's going to beat him up. Siaki shows up, says he doesn't have any respect for anyone, but he won't be held down as a mid-carder for 15 years. Lynn has. Even though I believe Lynn has been a world champion in some places, so that's not absolutely true. Siaki says he'll start at the top, finish at the top. Then he runs down to attack Lynn, going after his knee. We get Ace Steel and Wild coming out to break them apart. It fails. Norman Smiley and David Young also come out. And it breaks down into a pretty basic pull-apart brawl where they're held apart. One guy breaks away, does some attacking, they get pulled apart again. You know, guy breaks away, does some attacking, that sort of thing. At least for the first time tonight. Get an interview with Six Pac. This is Mike TNA, like a pre-recorded. TNA suggests basically that Six Pac was what was the basically X Division before there was. Basically, his style was X Division, I guess. We get the point of the X Division from Six Pac's point of view. We get the point in the X Division is they're supposed to be the most exciting wrestlers in the business. He goes on about his reputation in the locker room and his time with DX and Bo, saying that, and that, with how long he's been in the business, tonight he just needs to prove that he is still good enough to be, because he is the X Division champion
as of now.
Yeah, well, he's got a one-on-one title match tonight, so successful defense means, maybe I actually do deserve this, despite the fact how he got it was bullshit.
Dream.
In my opinion. I shouldn't need to say that. I think it's really hard to say that anyone has the opinion that wasn't nonsense. I don't know. I'm sure some people will be like, no, it's completely justified. I wouldn't agree with them, but they're entitled to their. Sonny Siaki versus Jorge Estrada. This is one of the few matches that seems like it's things coming to it. This is one of the reasons why I said tonight felt like it was supposed to be that. But we didn't really get it over. Jorge doesn't really fool around, really making it feel like that he has a grudge to settle tonight. Like, he doesn't do very much dancing or anything. He's not acting like the fool that he normally does. Like, he's really going after Siaki in this.
Yeah.
But he also does make it clear that he does just want to win to kind of, I would assume just to humiliate and get a victory over Siaki here and be like, see, I can beat you. Because he's not taking the time to punish him. Yeah, he's serious. There's a grudge here, but he still wants to win. So he's being a serious competitor. I give him credit for that. I think that's a good way to go about this particular. Yes, there's bad blood, but he feels a victory over Siaki would be the best thing he could get. Best one-up he could get. So he goes for pins, stuff like that. I do say I wish I had more history build between these two, because the story the commentary is telling between them is really good. It's just that we have had only such a short amount of time seeing them even work together so far as a team, that the idea that they know each other so well, they know each other's moves so well, and they have to actually try to one-up each other and trick each other and all that stuff, it just feels like it's a little too soon to be telling that story. But that was what is being sold. So I like the story. It feels rushed, but I like it. Coming near the end of the match, Estrada goes to do a dive on Siaki, is forced to change his flight path to avoid Priscilla because Siaki pulls her into the way. Coming down, Estrada lands on the safety rail. He's put back in the ring. Siaki hits his Siakalypse and gets the victory.
Ridiculous.
I agree. This is a period of time where basically if your finishers needed to be either a pun on your name, some other type of pun that somehow played into your strengths. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Like the rock bottom, the stone. I mean, I guess Stone Cold Stunner is just Stone Cold added to Stunner, but stuff like that. Styles Clash. On his way to the ramp, Lynn attacks Siaki, and we have a second pull apart brawl for the night. Pretty much goes the same way as before, but it's another pull apart brawl. Match 3 of the night. Moving at breakneck speed with matches here. I don't think some of these matches get as much time as they should, because we got 8 on the card tonight. And none of them, at least none of them, are like the bullshit stuff like with the Dup Cup and things like that. So it's 8 for the most part, pretty legitimate match. I'll give them credit for that. Just fun. Some of them feel really short. This is one of the really short. I know that Ace Steel in his entrance tries to look intense, but he doesn't sell it very well, and he just mostly just looks constipated. He really should stop trying to do like a grimace. It's not very good. He doesn't have the face for it. We get a potentially cool moment where Wild tries to pull Steel out of the ring by he's on the apron on the outside. Tries to jump up, shoot his legs over the top rope, and catch Steel underneath the armpits, and then fall backwards and flip him out. But they both just kind of fumble over the top rope, and it looks sloppy. But this gets followed up by a really cool spot where Wild rushes at Steel, who's got his back to the ring now, both of them on the outside. Steel does that bit where he lifts him up back over his top, kind of like a back body drop you would do in the ring. But since they're up against the outside of the ring, Wild bounces his back off the ropes, comes back down, and hits Steel with a Hurricane. I thought that was really awesome to see. So that was one of the reasons why I was disappointed in this match for getting such little time. These two were doing some really interesting spots. Even if some of them weren't successful, I do think they could have put on a much better match with more time.
Yeah.
We see Steel struggle to put Wild into position for his finisher. They fight for a good 20 seconds before Steel hits, which is essentially the Widow's Peak, and it's the win. Yeah, that was another one of those sloppy moments where he's got him up on his back and he's trying to get his arms in position so he can safely do the move. But the two of them are just struggling to get each other correct. and it just takes forever for them.
All I know is I was guys looks like he's your match and he can't poop. His pants, I realized it looks like they're leggings with granny panties over top of them around his area and then tied around. And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a weird way to section off your.
Because they're like all floral and all pretty and everything.
They're not floral. I think they're actually supposed to be camo.
Oh, are they? Okay.
It's just it's just a really small pattern.
It is. It's like, okay. I can see this sign in granny pants. Look like you're wearing granny.
It's not, and he needs better. He needs better tights. I will admit that.
And I'm distracted. I mean, not nearly as.
There are definitely worse looking ones, like with the Michaels brothers.
Oh
my. That neon green is so ugly.
I mean, at least I wasn't nearly as distracted as Brown Albert and his butt.
I was distracted by the fact he's wearing a singlet but doesn't have the straps over his.
I'm sorry, his butt is just.
My wife is apparently an ass woman.
I'm really not. I prefer boobs.
Oh, Monty Brown's got quite a pair of those too.
Well, yes, I'm kind of jealous. And
he is a jacked motherfucker.
But no, like.
And I love him.
His ass was like very distracting, and I'm like, wow, okay. It bounced. It has a lot of velocity.
I hate that you're bringing up Monty Brown because we've not seen him. We've not seen him since his title match, and I miss him so much because he's such a character. He has so much personality in the ring, and I just miss him so much right now.
Sorry.
Match number 4 of the night: Bruce and Jarrett versus BG James and Hermie Sadler, the NASCAR driver. Even though Bruce comes out in the dress, he actually is in his ring gear underneath it, so that was good. Not like the last couple of times we got a glimpse underneath the dress, and it turned out he was wearing like a thong or something.
At least what we assume is.
I don't know. They blurred it out.
Hence why we assume.
BG James is a normal promo shtick. It was basically the same stuff he's been saying. I don't know. He talks so fast and in such a metaphorical sense that it's really hard to write it all down. But it really all just boils down to your shit and I'm better. Fuck off.
This is what I get from it. You didn't. Is I can only hear what the G, which means get it, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I'm understanding.
He keeps saying that. I don't think it's gonna stick.
I don't know exactly what get it, got it, good. But like I hear it.
He's basically saying you understand what I'm about. That's what but that's the point of it. Jarrett also grabs the mic, and he apparently there was a race between last week and this week. And he makes a joke calling Sadler the Last and the Furious. Apparently the race didn't go well. I don't know anything. I'm not looking up NASCAR history to figure out what happened in that race with Hermie Sadler and the TNA car. I don't care.
It'd be great if since you're into wrestling.
I am into NASCAR too, but I'm not looking up history.
I'm not into either. I don't.
I know it's weird. I don't like sports in general, but I like NASCAR, hockey, and professional wrestling.
I don't like any of it. So I am really weird. So like,
I'm a redneck from Michigan. I don't say. I'm a nerdy redneck from Michigan. That's weird.
You are throwing all types of weird stereotypes.
Jarrett and James have a competent back and forth while we get Bruce. We do eventually get Bruce in the ring with Sadler. Bruce is just trying to humiliate the guy. I notice Bruce keeps sticking his ass out at opponents, like, go at it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I understand I understand the whole thing is supposed to be he's gay or whatever. It's, is it psychological? Is it supposed to be like a psychological thing?
I don't know. Maybe. Hey,
It
look
just
at
looks awkward.
it.
It also didn't help that this entire match had a guy in the background with a sign that they had to keep blurring out. I don't know what it said. I never caught enough of it to be able to tell you what it said. I'm assuming it's something really hateful, homophobic. But like that, you just get this big, like, I don't know how, like, what percentage of the screen it's taken up, but it's just this big pixelated spot that keeps popping up during the match. It's really distracting, and I honestly think it would have been better just to have left it alone, just because it would have been less intrusive in the match. Yes, it was probably horrible, whatever said on it, but personally, I would rather be able to see the match clearly and not have that distraction. They do a spot where Bruce trips backwards over Sadler. You know, Three Stooges. After that, James goes to do like a stomp on the groin area, sternum, lower stomach. But instead, he just holds his legs apart and then gets his face real close and stares, trying to see like if Bruce has like a penis or a vagina. And then and then I guess based on his expression and reaction, the results were inconclusive. It was kind of funny. When James goes for the pump handle slam on Bruce, since Bruce acts like he likes his little, because BG James does this little hump thing, and I don't know why he does it before he does the pump handle slam. But Bruce loves it, so instead of doing the pump handle slam, James backs away, grossed out. So I guess the mind games are working. Every time Sadler's in the ring in this match, he's slow. Everything's being basically done by the person he's working with. It's very obvious that Sadler's not a wrestler.
Apparently, he's not much of an.
I didn't know who he was before this, and I still don't really outside of this, so it doesn't really help me. Not James, he's not Jeff Gordon, he's not Dale. I mean, even for how not great she was, I know Dana Patrick. I don't know Hermie Sadler. I mean,
never heard of.
Yeah. All right. James and Jarrett end up fighting up the ramp, which gives Lawler a chance to sneak out and hit James with the trash can. While that's going on, Sadler does this weird thing where he reverses a roll up, but they kind of fumble around for a minute until he gets the pin and wins.
It was this entire match was.
They need to stop putting Sadler in the ring. He had a semi-okay competent thing with Truth that one time. And it's not worth continuing. I understand the cross promotion, but stop putting him in the ring.
It's pain. Thing was.
After the match, Jarrett looks embarrassed he looks embarrassed by Bruce. Bruce goes to hug him. Jarrett hates it, so he takes Bruce to Dick Kick City, hits the stroke, and leaves. Nothing else to say?
Nothing. Again, painful.
We are halfway through this show. Not more than halfway through my notes, but only halfway through the show. Next match, Norman Smiley versus Ron Harris for match number 5. This was another short one that was just trying to tell a simple story. Harris was done trying to find partners because apparently he couldn't find one that worked because he kept losing.
Well, I'm sorry. Siaki and him worked really well together.
Until, yeah, but the point here is supposed to be Ron Harris feels like his partners are the one problem. not him. So now he's going on his own to show that it's not him. This match is bog standard, Ron being a strong guy and Smiley being his dancy self.
I honestly forgot about Smiley. Like, I forgot he exists. Don't.
This is all I have written for the bulk of the match. Of the actual match. Big guy doing big guy moves, hits some slam and gets the win.
I have the fact that Smiley gets bitten, but
I don't even remember that.
yeah, I thought he got.
Are you sure that was even during this match?
I think it was like whenever he was getting beat.
I don't
after
remember.
The match.
Ron Harris does beat up Smiley after the match. Afterwards, Smiley starts actually fighting back, and he's like lost it. He's screaming everything and starts choking out Ron till Don comes out and forces Smiley to leave. And then after that, Don and Ron get into a shoving match and a shouting match. I don't know where that's going.
I kind of think that they're shouting that what they.
Rolling down, I've just realized that apparently I did not last part of.
Oh, it's okay. I got it. I got my notes.
Apparently the note didn't save.
I got my notes. Which is
match 6. Lex 3 matches are tag team matches.
Last match.
Or sorry, title matches.
Oh no,
my apologies. By the way, just so we're aware, Jorge Estrada versus Sonny Saki, probably the best match this night.
It's sad.
Not sad. It just was a good match.
No, I meant this entire episode.
We get Rick and Chris Michaels versus AMW. We get a strong opening with Storm and Rick going hole for hole. But Harris and Storm do end up getting the upper hand early on because they have the better teamwork. Which, again, they're still telling that story where these two are getting better and better as a team. But they are starting to transition that into, hey, now they're a good team, but other teams are catching up. Because last week with SATs, was it last week with the SATs? They were doing there were some close falls. They had some close falls in this one too.
I think it.
We get some period of time where Storm gets worked over by one of the Michaels. Eventually, Harris gets a hot tag, and he takes out one of the Michaels. He basically hits with an enziguri that takes him out of his goddamn boots. That was insane. Oh no, sorry. Storm hit that enziguri and gets Harris into the hot tag. But my God, the guy sold it so well. He did a complete total front flip. It looks like it hurt.
All I'm saying in this, one, there was like a couple. 2, I am not sure who the legal man is half the time.
TNA doesn't seem to care that much.
It really doesn't.
They'll sometimes tag and sometimes just let whoever goes for a pinfall get.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. Okay, so today it's going to be. Blah,
I've
blah,
just
blah.
let it go.
Yeah, I get so confused.
I'm not caring anymore. If the legal man doesn't matter that much, I'm just going to let it go and enjoy. There's a distraction where Harris gets put on the outside and the ref is because I think at this point he's supposed to be the legal man. He's trying to help him get back, or trying to get him to get back in the ring. But it's just Harris out there, and this gives the Michaels a chance to get some double team done. Almost a victory with the last second kick out by Storm. After another double team leading to a near fall, and Harris, Storm pulls one of them out of the ring, and Harris hits his catatonic. That was the end of that match. Overall, pretty good tag team match. As I said, with Estrada and Siaki being the best match of the night, this was easily the second, though. And I really enjoyed this match. I want to see more of AMW together. Though after the match, the Hot Shots do run out and attack the AMW. And Michaels come in to join in on the beatdown. And it's the next. This is one of the reasons why I really that the Steel Wild match got more time, because this beatdown was like 5 minutes long, and it kept stopping and restarting. Like they'd stop, be like, okay, we're done. Now we're gonna beat him up some more, and that happened like 3 times.
Yeah, it was.
It was drawn out a lot further than it needed to be.
I don't care about beating. Okay, let's.
I remember the world title match. Match number 7, X Division Championship, AJ Styles with Mortimer Plumtree versus 6-Pac. Apparently, Styles is sold out too and signed with Mortimer Plumtree, so now he's got that guy in his corner. Starting off the match, Pac offers a handshake to Styles. Styles kicks it away. Becomes very clear really quickly this is about X-Pac, 6-Pac. It doesn't really matter. Proving that he deserves this belt was Styles trying to show that, I'm better than you ever were, sort of situation. There's a lot of attitude being thrown between the two of them, mind games being played, both of them trying to get into each other's heads. See, Plumtree saves Styles from the Bronco Buster. Thanks to a little bit more help from Plumtree, Styles does get momentum on his side. It looks like, the idea being that, this alliance is paying off for him, trying to show that. A failed spiral tap gives Pac the chance to get back into the match. Eventually, we get a spot where Styles tries to go for the Bronco Buster on Pac, but Pac blocks it with his foot and uses the momentum to throw Styles basically over the top turnbuckle outside of the ring, which I thought was really cool. Eventually, Styles hits the ref for a ref bump, and we get the spot where basically, Pac had the match won, except, ref is down. Plumtree gets in to interfere while the ref is out. You finally get the teasing of the Bronco Buster payoff, though. But instead of, just doing his normal Bronco Buster, he lands on Styles and just wails into him with his fists. Keeps punching Styles. When the ref tries to break him away, he shoves him off. It gets 6-Pac DQ'd, so we don't even get a clean finish here. Styles is technically the winner by disqualification, but Pac is still the champion. And Securities comes out and prevents 6-Pac from going. Next segment was a short interview with Curt Hennig, but there was nothing really any significant said during it, so I didn't write anything. And finally, tonight, the World Championship match, Curt Hennig versus Ron Killings. Before we get into the details, I will say I believe this is probably Ron's worst World Championship match had yet.
Yeah.
That's including the one with Ken Shamrock that was kind of sloppy, but it was fine.
I still loved his reaction to that because he looked so confused. He's like, wait.
It started out okay. I do know that Truth comes out basically. Truth does come out first. Says that the officials in TNA need to stop hiding behind closed doors, come out, show their faces, and take responsibility for shit. And then Curt Hennig comes out and just says, basically, you're a whiner and I'm going to kick your ass. To get into it, the first couple minutes of the match is okay, up to the point where Truth does something. I don't know. I didn't really see anything, but commentary was trying to sell the idea that Truth pulled something out of his pants and used it to blind Curt Hennig. He uses that for a bit to take control of the match. Eventually, though, the Mr. Wrestling 3 comes out. Curt actually starts fighting him first. For whatever reason, he gets away from Curt Hennig, goes to attack Truth. And then Curt Hennig comes and puts a stop to that. Then Jeff Jarrett comes out, and a whole bunch of people spill out from the back, and it turns into chaos. It becomes really... I don't remember. Did they throw out the match? What happened?
I Eddie Gordo wins.
No. Before they restarted the match.
Oh. I don't remember.
I don't know what happened, but during the chaos, eventually, Bullet Bob comes out, says, we're restarting this match. Truth tries to weasel his way out of that. But in all of this, Kurt gets laid out. Truth takes advantage, comes in to the restarted match, ends. And then he does a rap to no music.
It wasn't terrible this time.
Not only did he rap to no music, as he started rapping, his music stopped. Like the sound guys didn't realize what was happening. It was an overbooked, stupid, terrible finish. Didn't like this match at all.
I told you what this was.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give it a feast just because overall, there were several good matches that I'm really glad we got in this on this week. And I realized I was thinking about it earlier that it made more sense for like Ron Harris to have a match with Sonny Siaki or the Ozzy this week, but since Siaki and Estrada were having their blow off, I know why I didn't have Siaki.
Yeah, but they could have had Shampoo come.
I don't think they have. I don't know. I don't know if we ever see Brian Lee.
No commercial, no.
Anyways,
it is a fired for me.
It's. I feel this is better than the best fired that we've watched, so I have to give it a feast.
All right, I mean,
there are matches I wish had more time, but I thought were good. The world title match was the only one where I would say this match was. Well, no, actually, I guess the Hermie Sadler one too. But 2 out of 6 matches were terrible. That still has 4. It's 2 out of 8 matches were terrible. That still leaves 6 serviceable matches. So they were fine to good. So it still leaves me laying on the side of this show was fine.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Buddha the Noodles got more injured. I don't like.
We get him next week.
Maybe.
I'm excited for that match.
And then Egomaniac won. Egomaniac is my least.
Anyways, looking forward to Lynn versus Sonny Siaki. I didn't pay attention to Don West's heart attack segment.
I am so and every time.
Okay, we don't need to say that every time though. Okay, just drop it. I'm just gonna call it his heart attack segment. I wasn't paying attention. Outside of Siaki and Lynn, I don't know what we got coming next. But that one match is enough to make me excited for the following week. So, hopefully, next week is even better. It's amazing how, like, 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, they're in a really good spot. I really like this, and I had 2 fireds in a row.
Yeah.
But this one's a feast, so. Anyways, anything to add before we go?
Nope.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We love you all. And keep wrestling.